As we focus on a major crisis with global consequences, the ongoing conflict between Israel and Iran has already led to a sharp rise in crude oil prices and is causing widespread concern about the potential destabilization of both the Middle East and global economic and energy markets. Let's explore the situation in more detail, how it's impacting countries around the world, and what could happen if tensions continue to escalate. The conflict between Iran and Israel has intensified in recent days. Earlier this week, Iran launched a significant missile attack on Israeli targets, which prompted retaliation from Israel. Although no casualties were reported on the Israeli side, the geopolitical repercussions have been severe. Iran produces nearly 3 million barrels of crude oil per day, accounting for 1/5 of the world's supply. As the region teeters on the edge of a full-scale war, crude oil prices have surged, raising concerns across global markets. While Israel has indicated its desire to target Iran's nuclear facilities in response to the missile attack, US President Joe Biden has urged caution. For now, military actions remain focused on conventional targets, but the possibility of a larger conflict is ever present. The regional conflict has already affected neighboring countries such as Lebanon and Syria, and Jordan is feeling the indirect impacts as well. However, key regional players like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Kuwait, and Qatar have so far remained neutral, which has helped to avoid any attacks along the critical Strait of Hormuz. This narrow waterway, connecting the Persian Gulf to the Gulf of Oman, is crucial for global oil and gas shipments. It's important to note that 60% of India's crude oil supply passes through this strait. Additionally, about 25% of the world's oil and 1/3 of its liquefied natural gas, LNG, flow through this narrow channel. Any escalation in conflict affecting the strait could severely disrupt global energy supplies, pushing oil prices even higher. Experts predict that crude oil prices could rise from the current $72 per barrel to as much as $80 if the situation worsens. For India, such a scenario could significantly impact its trade deficit, current account deficit, and fiscal deficit. However, India's strong foreign exchange reserves, currently over $690 billion, provide a cushion to absorb some of the immediate economic shocks. Nevertheless, a prolonged disruption in oil supplies would create serious challenges. There are also concerns about how an attack on Iran's portion of the strait could disrupt the global supply chain for essential goods, causing ripple effects across the global economy. Delays or disruptions in key shipping lanes would affect both imports and exports. India's trade, especially exports through Iranian ports, could face setbacks due to the conflict, further straining the economy. Moreover, rising freight costs and ongoing difficulties in the Red Sea pose additional threats to India's export sector. Over the past 3 days, the price of Brent crude has risen by $4 per barrel, and with India heavily reliant on oil imports from West Asia, the potential for further price increases is alarming. While India has diversified its oil imports, most notably with a sharp increase in Russian crude from 2% in 2020 to 36% in 2024, Middle Eastern supplies remain crucial for the country's energy security. The deepening crisis in the Middle East is also putting the India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor, IMEC, at risk. This ambitious project, discussed during the G20 summit in 2023, aims to connect India to Europe via the Middle East, offering a 40% faster alternative to the Suez Canal route. However, the conflict between Israel and Iran has raised doubts about the future of the corridor, particularly the section that ends at the Israeli port of Haifa, which could face significant delays if the conflict worsens. Despite these tensions, Prime Minister Narendra Modi remains optimistic about India's ability to navigate the situation. Speaking at the Quarterly Economic Conclave, Modi highlighted the resilience of India's economy, which has grown at a rate of 7% or more in FY24. He pointed out that India's economy is strong enough to withstand fluctuations in crude oil prices, and no immediate interventions are necessary. As the conflict in the Middle East continues, its impact on global energy markets and trade is profound. We will continue to bring you updates on this developing situation. Thank you for watching. Do like, follow and subscribe us for more updates.